Zhenya Stepanov is a Russian YouTuber who often explores places like abandoned buildings, forests, and similar locations. He frequently posts videos where he does risky things like climbing on top of buildings or radio towers. It all seems to be for fun while documenting the experience. But in this particular video, things almost went very wrong when everything didn't go as planned. So, what happened? Well, he and his friends decided to explore an abandoned campground that had been left behind after the Chernobyl disaster deep into the forest.
Всем привет, короче, сегодня идем в лес с Саней, с Славой и со мной, короче. Куда мы идем, короче, объясни.
Короче, достаточно интересное место, в котором достаточно хороший сохран. И, в принципе, что мы там можем увидеть? Мы там можем увидеть такую мини-чернобыльскую зону отчуждения. Она чем-то напоминает чернобыльскую зону отчуждения тем, что там остались детские качели.
Карусель.
Да, карусель и все остальное. То есть вся такая атрибутика. Что мы еще там можем встретить? Мы можем встретить там бассейн, различные корпуса, ну и, в общем, различные здания, хозяйственные и жилые. В принципе, будет интересно.
After a bit of a hike, they finally reached the entrance of the location, and it was indeed abandoned, with no sign of anyone else around. It looked completely forgotten. They went inside and started exploring.
Я вам покажу карусель. Главное, чтобы на меня сейчас собаки не напали. Одному, потому что ходить такое себе. Вот он. Карусель. Опа. Доброе утро. Такая прикольная карусель. Сейчас как-то не очень это в кадре выглядит, потому что все равно на улице. Погода такая.
Everything was rusted. A carousel, a swimming pool, all left untouched since it was first abandoned. They decided to check inside as well, but while exploring, they started hearing something outside, and that's when everything took a strange turn.
Но может быть, там просто написано последняя дата 2002. Внимание, время пользования телефоном. Лол, время пользования телефоном было с 4 до 6. Лол. Ой, еще одна комната. Какая-то фигня тут разбросана, колбы. Битые, все. Шкафчики. Прикольно. Когда-то тут кто-то жил. Чё? Она это бабка. Саня, веткой не дай мне в глаз, пожалуйста. Да нет. Неплохо. Побег от первого лица без стабилизации, это жестко.
A man started yelling at them, and that alone wouldn't have been a huge problem. They could have just run away and left it at that. But then, something happened that made them run 3 times faster. Take a look.
Да не знаю, она сказала, ну-ка быстро валим отсюда, а то я сейчас вам... О, а вот теперь бежим быстрее. Тихо, Саня.
The boys ran in every direction they could, and then the man started shooting at them. It just didn't make any sense. The place was clearly abandoned, with no sign that anyone was actually living there. Was he some kind of god? Honestly, it's hard to say because just look at the state of that place, in the middle of the woods. What could anyone even steal from there? It was all old and deteriorated, and even if there was something of value, it wouldn't justify opening fire like that. So what actually happened there? We don't really know. But it was clear they were dealing with someone unpredictable and armed, and that's a very dangerous combination. They kept running, and when they finally looked back, they couldn't see him anymore. But honestly, that was insane. Larry is someone who loves nature so much that he lives full-time in his camper van, spending his nights in the woods and all kinds of beautiful remote locations, and sharing it all on his channel, Work Less, Enjoy Life More. His content focuses on van life as he travels with his wife, filming everything from camper issues to experiences at different camps and all sorts of interesting moments people enjoy watching. In this particular video, he heads to the Mogollon Rim in Arizona and ends up encountering something that really spooks him. He drives along a gravel road deep into the forest until he finds a nice, quiet place to camp, somewhere he thinks no one will disturb him. Or so he thought.
This is Work Less, Enjoy Life More. If you're new to the channel, this is a channel more or less about working less so you can enjoy life more. Hence the name. I used to have my own businesses. I worked a lot. Felt like even on my days off, they weren't days off. I decided to sell everything, kind of let the businesses go, and now I work what I would consider less than part-time, and it pays my bills. Now that I don't have a huge house and huge utilities and properties to maintain and all that good stuff, life's a lot easier, a lot less stress, a lot less anxiety, and I get to hang out and sleep in places like this that people only wait for weekends to go do on rare occasions, sometimes not at all. So I consider myself very lucky to be out here in this beautiful, picturesque area.
After spending some time walking deeper into the forest with his dog, the sun slowly started to set, and it was time to head back into the RV, relax, watch some TV, and cook some food.
Down to 78. I got the fans going. Unfortunately, my air conditioning went out about a week ago. So, I don't know. The sun's going down. Probably have another hour or two before it's dark. But I think I'm just going to lay down and watch a little TV. And then wait for it to cool down some. It's just hot.
Everything seemed to be going great. But while he was cooking, something happened that instantly put him on high alert.
And it sounded pretty good, so I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna get it lit up here. Oh yeah.
Multiple knocks and footsteps could be heard outside. He wasn't sure what it was, but it almost sounded human, which made it much scarier. It could have been a bear, but the knocking sounded too deliberate, like something was actually trying the door or looking inside. It went on for a while, and even though Larry was prepared in case something happened and had protection, he didn't want to step outside and find out. That could have meant opening the door to something completely unknown. So he stayed inside, locked up, and waited it out. And thankfully, nothing else happened until morning.
Okay, this chair was over here by the table last night when I went to bed, or the last time I went outside.
It was clear that something had been there last night, and being in such a remote place, whatever moved his chair couldn't have been anything else but a person. But what was someone doing there at that hour? It could have been a wandering man camping nearby, maybe a bit too drunk to realize what he was doing, or just someone who was curious about the van. We don't actually know what happened that night, but it does show why van camping can sometimes be risky. You never fully know if a spot is truly safe or what or who might be around. That's why having precautions and avoiding putting yourself in uncertain situations is so important. Larry ended up leaving the area that morning because if someone had come once, they might come back again, and possibly more prepared next time. Joel isn't a YouTuber and only has one video uploaded on his channel. He managed to record a very intense encounter he had while hiking deep in the woods, where he was suddenly attacked. He caught the whole thing on his phone. I know it has the quality of a Bigfoot video, but trust me, this was absolutely crazy.
Alright, this is me being stalked by a bear. Can't say I'm very excited. Shit. Whoa! I'm about 400 meters from camp. Whoa! Get! Oh boy. Whoa! Go! Go away! Go! Almost time to drop the camera and run. Well, not run. Whoa! 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 Get! Ah! Go! Get!
That bear was absolutely in hunting mode. Predatory behavior, testing different approach angles, head moving back and forth. If he had stumbled or fallen, this video could have been his last. This is one of those rare moments where a bear isn't reacting out of fear or being forced into a situation, but seems to be actively pursuing. The guy did everything he could to protect himself and still got extremely lucky not to be injured. A lot of people use bear spray or even firearms in situations where the threat isn't immediate. But in this case, the danger was very real, and all he had was a stick. He was incredibly fortunate to live, and it really shows why proper protection and awareness are so important when hiking in the forest. Sometimes a bear doesn't run away, it locks in on you instead. And that's when things become seriously dangerous. Annabelle is a 30-year-old woman from France who lives in her van with her cat and regularly posts videos about her life and the places she camps across different forests and regions of the country. Her content mainly focuses on day-to-day van life and usually stays away from anything creepy. In this particular video, however, things took a turn when she experienced something that truly scared her for the first time. She parked her van in a parking lot and started hiking along a forest trail to visit a nearby village.
Mon pauvre estomac. Bon bah là c'est très mauvais signe, il commence à pleuvoir, alors c'est quelques gouttes. J'espère juste qu'il va pas pleuvoir de ouf. Vous imaginez quand même, ça fait 2 heures que je vous vante les mérites de ce village, je vous dis c'est vraiment incroyable, vous devez voir ça de vos propres yeux. Je vais vous y emmener, je vais vous montrer. Puis une fois arrivé là-bas, bon bah je vais ranger la caméra parce qu'il pleut. Google est votre ami, regardez des photos. Non c'est pas vrai, je vais vraiment essayer de faire mon possible pour vous filmer tout ça.
Annabelle spent some time walking around the village, and it was a really nice experience. It's a beautiful place. After a few hours of exploring, she returned to her van, got inside and opened her laptop to start editing. That's when a man with no license plate on his vehicle came up to her door and asked her what time it was.
Comme vous le voyez, Koda il était attaché avec sa longe, même à l'intérieur, parce qu'il y a des chevaux dehors et j'ai peur qu'à tout moment il sorte. Normalement il attend mon autorisation, mais avec lui on ne sait jamais. Et donc Koda était ici et en fait il y a le gars de la voiture sans permis qui arrive jusqu'ici. Koda il sort, normalement il a pas le droit sans mon autorisation, mais bref il sort. Il aboie pas après ce type, il fait rien de spécial. Donc je ramène Koda et puis le gars il me dit est-ce que vous auriez l'heure? Bon, je lui dis quand même l'heure qu'il est, donc 19h. Et en fait, je sais pas, du coup, depuis, il est dans sa voiture et puis il me regarde. Je comprends pas trop. Je sais pas s'il voulait vraiment l'heure. Est-ce que c'est une technique de drague? Est-ce que c'est pour venir regarder dans le camping-car? Du coup, moi, j'étais en train de faire ici mon petit montage. ELF sans alcool 0,0 toujours. Et ouais, je sais pas, depuis tout à l'heure, j'ai l'impression qu'il me regarde par la fenêtre et tout. Parce qu'en plus, on me voit étant donné que je n'ai pas fermé mes rideaux. Je sais pas, c'est un peu bizarre. J'aurais bien voulu passer une deuxième nuit ici, hein, si possible. Et même de retourner faire un tour du lac, parce que c'est un grand lac de 9 km qu'on a fait tout à l'heure. Et j'ai bien aimé, donc j'aimerais bien refaire une fois le tour. Et lui aussi, je pense qu'il aimerait bien refaire une fois le tour. Mais le truc, c'est que je suis pas trop à l'aise de laisser le camping-car ici, parce que je me dis, ça se trouve, le gars, il est un peu louche et je suis pas trop rassurée.
She eventually decided to brush it off and go for a walk with her dog. But that's when she started noticing something unsettling. She was being followed by the exact same man who had approached her earlier and asked for the time.
Bon les amis, là je suis repartie faire le tour du lac. Le gars était plus dans sa voiture sans permis. Et en fait je m'aperçois qu'il est en train de me suivre dans les bois quoi. C'est ultra rassurant. Donc j'ai ma petite bombe au poivre dans la main au cas où il faut intervenir. Comme Koda n'a pas trop réagi tout à l'heure quand le gars est venu pour me demander l'heure à ma porte. Et je sais pas, attendez. Je vais essayer de me retourner discrètement. Bon, je viens de regarder et en fait, le type, je vois sa tête dépasser en mode, il est en train de regarder si... là, on va pas le voir parce qu'il est caché derrière. Juste là. Et en fait, il passe sa tête en mode, est-ce qu'elle avance ou est-ce qu'elle avance pas? Je joue un truc comme ça m'est jamais arrivé jusqu'à maintenant. Je suis tombée sur des types louches, mais là on est quand même à un stade où déjà le gars ça faisait 1 heure qu'il était sur le parquet. Voilà, là il passe sa tête en mode il regarde si j'avance ou si j'avance pas, et là il me fixe. Je le vois là. Là il est en train de faire le balancier avec sa tête en mode il regarde. Attendez, je vais faire marche arrière, on va voir. Viens ici. Il y a un problème depuis tout à l'heure, monsieur?
Non, mais moi je connais courir, moi. J'habite ici.
D'accord, non, mais parce que j'ai l'impression que vous me suivez un petit peu, non? C'est moi qui me trompe?
Pas du tout, madame.
Ouais.
Pas du tout.
Non, parce que j'ai l'impression que là, depuis tout à l'heure, je suis là et vous me regardez là.
Non, je vois les pêcheurs et tout, moi je vais avec les pêcheurs. Non, il n'y a pas du tout de problème.
Ouais, oui.
Ne vous inquiétez pas.
D'accord, très bien. Bonne soirée.
Si les pêcheurs, je vais me retrouver le soir, c'est pareil.
D'accord, oui.
Non, mais j'ai rien avec vous.
Allez, viens.
J'ai mon voisin qui est à côté de moi, c'est pareil.
Bon, du coup, voilà, bon, j'y suis allée au culot, tant pis, mais bon, moi je devais savoir s'il y avait un problème ou pas parce que Enfin, c'est juste à moitié bizarre, quoi. Le gars, je sais pas si vous avez réussi à bien entendre, mais qui dit ah oui, non, je viens voir s'il n'y a pas des amis pêcheurs, tout ça. Déjà, s'il est d'ici et qu'il a des amis pêcheurs, bah, il doit déjà bien voir les voitures qui y sont. C'est-à-dire qu'il y a mon camping-car et une seule voiture qui appartient à une famille qui est venue promener son chien. Donc voilà. Et fait bizarre, c'est pourquoi est-ce que quand je m'arrête, il est là plus loin derrière les fourrés en train de s'arrêter, en train de m'épier et d'avancer un peu au même rythme que moi. Faut arrêter de me prendre un peu pour une conne. Donc il me dit non, non, vous avez pas à vous inquiéter, tout ça. Putain, suivi par un fou, quoi. Oh là là.
Let's be honest. He was following her. There's no way he just happened to stay in his car watching her and then suddenly decided to go for a walk at the exact same time she did. He even stopped to play with her dog. I don't know if he intended something more serious or if he was just trying to hit on her, but it's clear he made her feel uncomfortable, especially for the first time during her van life experience. First, he interacted with her, then watched her from a distance, and then followed her into the woods. Yeah, that's nothing but red flags to me, but tell me what you think. She eventually confronted him, and he tried to act like he wasn't following her, but she was pretty sure he was. And honestly, I agree with her. Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft is a man in his early 50s who originally started his channel to teach martial arts, but later transitioned into survival and bushcraft content. His videos are very educational and mostly showcase his everyday life. In this particular video, he decided to head into the woods to look for materials for some of his projects and to spend a bit of time relaxing in his hammock. However, what started as something that seemed pretty harmless quickly turned into a dangerous situation.
I'm gonna get me a little bit of water before I take off, and then we're headed into the woods. So today's mission out here is pretty simple. First and foremost, like any other day, is to relax and have fun. I did, of course, bring my hammock, and hopefully that will get set up somewhere. But I'm looking for honey locust thorns, some good grasses for some cordage material, and a stick that will work for an arrow, and a stick that would work for a thin spear. So those are my missions for today. We'll see how far we get with that.
While searching, he also set up a hammock and took some time to relax in it before continuing his search for more materials.
Yes.
After a while, he continued searching and eventually found a vine worth taking home. But that's when something happened. Take a look.
Ouch. Oh, man. Oh. Oh. Ouch. Holy cow. Oh, I just got, oh, son of a, oh. Oh. Oh, I'm being attacked. Oh, okay. Holy cow. I just got attacked by a swarm of hornets. Oh shit, I've been stung. I've been stung more times than I can count. I gotta get my gear and get out of here. Oh, feel good. Holy, oh, oh.
I know, you might look at this and think, what could a few hornets really do? He's overreacting, but that's not really the case. On his way home, he actually started feeling very unwell and had to stop at a hospital to get checked out. Getting stung by a single hornet usually isn't something to be too worried about, but he was stung repeatedly, one after another. While 1 to 5 stings are typically just painful for most people, around 10 to 20 can become medically concerning, and anything above that can turn serious pretty quickly. Judging by how he described feeling, it was likely somewhere around 20 to 30 stings, which is definitely not something to ignore. It just goes to show that in the forest, you have to be careful with everything, even something as simple as lifting a rock. Small things like hornets might not seem like a big deal, but in large numbers they can become very dangerous. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed these kinds of videos, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. You can also turn on the bell so you'll get notified whenever I post. And if you want to keep watching, click on one of the videos on the screen. I'm sure you'll enjoy those too.